You are watching WPTV, award-winning college television.
Welcome back to the desk. It's our first time with the best block since last year, and I can't wait to hear what's going on in the NHL. Here to break it all down is Baylee Matthews, Andrew Garofalo, Cole Jarvis, and Chase Hafner. Guys, since the season has started, the standings have taken us all by surprise, from teams that were in the playoffs last year on losing streaks to teams at the bottom of the barrel on top, and they are on the rise right now. Chase, I'll start off with you. What team's performance has improved the most?
Hey, Tyler, it's good to see you on the desk again this year. I'm so excited to be back here. For my team, I picked the Washington Capitals. Last year, they did make the playoffs. However, they did kind of just like squeak in. But this year, they're coming out strong. In their first 9 games, they're already 7-2. Wilson got 5 goals in the last 7 games, which is amazing. And Ovechkin is already on track to beat Wayne Gretzky's scoring record. So, I mean, this team's coming out of the gate swinging. I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah, Cole?
Yeah, how about the Winnipeg Jets? They're playing phenomenal hockey right now. They sit at 9-1 in the Central Division. That's first place. Their power play has been extraordinary, 44.8%. That's first in the league. And they're 4th in goals surrendered. So they're playing great defense. That's a testament to their defense. Kyle O'Connor's playing great hockey, and the players around the ice are really helping him. They're surrounding him with good passing and really good on the rush.
Yeah, Cole. I talked about the Winnipeg Jets last year on the
Tyler's favorite team of all time.
I'm glad you talked about
I know.
them.
Well, when you look at the roster, you know they can go pretty deep this year, I think.
Yep. Baylee?
For me, it's going to have to be the Minnesota Wild. They are 3rd in the Western Central right now, when last year they finished 6 out of 8. Their goaltender, Gustafsson, has a save percentage of .922. Kaprizov has 18 points and 13 assists in just 9 games. Their first game of this season, they won 5-2 versus the Winnipeg Jets, who are currently 1st in the Western Central. They came out swinging, and I don't think they'll stop anytime soon.
Yeah. Andrew?
I'm going to go with the Calgary Flames. So far, through their first 10 games, they're 5-4-1. And through the same point last year, they were just 2-7-1. And no one really expected them to be, good this year. They traded their goaltender, Jacob Markstrom. And so far, both their netminders, Dustin Wolf and Dan Vladar, splitting time.
Yeah. Guys, on the other hand, we're in the first few weeks of the season, and there was teams that can't compete with those stats from last year. Which team is struggling to keep up the expectations from last season? And I'll start it with you, Baylee.
Look, it pains me to say this. It pains me deeply, but it's the Nashville Predators. Woo! We are 2nd to last in the Western Conference. When we went to the Stanley Cup playoffs last year, we have 3 wins to 6 losses, and Saros has 206 saves this season, putting his save percentage at .896, and I think that speaks to how hard we're trying. It's not that we're a terrible team, but we keep facing these powerhouses and crumbling. We played the Panthers, who are 1st in the Eastern Atlantic, the Lightning, who are 2nd in Eastern Atlantic, the Hurricanes, who are 3rd in the Eastern Metropolitan, the Stars, who are 2nd in Western Central. We played the Oilers, who went all the way to the Cup. I think we need to get a few wins, pull up our momentum, and remember that Nashville is a better team than this.
Yeah, your hometown team is not doing so hot to start off the season.
I don't want to talk about it.
Andrew.
Well, I'm going to say something that I will gladly say. The Boston Bruins, they're just 4-6-1 through their first 11 games. In the past 2 years, historic starts. Last year, 9-1-1 in the regular season, and 2 years ago, they put up the most points in a regular season history.
Yeah, they've been historic, in the years, in previous years, but they're not looking so good now. Cole.
Yeah, I mean, the Edmonton Oilers, they're off to a shaky start. I know, Baylee, they might have beaten your team up a little bit, but talent-wise, this team has everything you can ask for. They're 5-5 this year. They've been absolutely abysmal in the penalty. Their penalty kill is 31st in the league, and their power play conversion is 27th. Those are numbers that a Stanley Cup team last year should not be putting up this year. They did start slow last year and wound up being in the Cup final. So history is on their side in this situation. But you got guys like Connor McDavid, Evander Kane, and Leon Draisaitl. You expect more.
Yep. Chase, quickly.
Well, let me tell you, autumn has started and the leaves are falling. Give me the Toronto Maple Leafs for this one. I remember coming on the desk pretty much all last year being like, the Leafs are doing great. I'm rooting for them. And they kind of got off to a shaky start. They lost their head coach, or fired him, I believe. I don't know. After last year in the Stanley Cup losing to the Bruins, I feel like it just kind of shook them up. but I feel like they're starting to regain momentum. So I'm excited to see what they're doing. But yeah, they're off to a little bit of a shaky start this year.
Chase, what are you on about? They're third in the Eastern Atlantic, which is what they finished in last year. They're 10 wins to 7 losses, and they beat the Devils. If anything, they're the most static team in the league right now. They're doing exactly the same.
I just didn't feel like it was as good as last year. That's just my own personal opinion.
All right, guys, settle down. Let's simmer down a little bit.
No.
On October 22nd, we had a frozen frenzy where all 32 teams were in staggering start times for the night of nonstop action, with all exciting matchups. Which I'll start off with you, Andrew. What was the most exciting game for you?
Thank you, Coop. I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Edmonton Oilers. The Hurricanes were able to come out victorious 3-2 in overtime, despite losing most of their faceoffs at 44% and 56% for the Oilers. 50% on the power play, just 20 for the Oilers. Shots on goal, 33, 35, pretty much even. And save percentage, 943 for the Hurricanes, 909 for the Oilers. And thanks to Seth Jarvis in overtime, with just 6 seconds left, they were able to get it done.
Yeah. Baylee, what was the most exciting game?
Look, for me, it's the Predators and the Bruins. It's one of our 3 wins this season. Of course I'm going to talk about it. I think this game was so exciting. With the face-off percentage of 43.3 for the Bruins, 56.7 for the Predators, 0% for the power play for the Bruins, 16.7% for the Predators, 33 shots on goal for the Bruins, 42 shots on goal for the Predators, a save percentage of 927 for the Bruins, and a perfect save percentage for the Nashville Predators, giving us a win of 4-0 in the hometown of Smashville, Tennessee at Bridgestone Arena. And I have to say, this isn't just my favorite game of the Frozen Frenzy, it's my favorite game of the season, with Luke Evangelista's winning goal in the third period unassisted. Let's freaking go.
You're very enthusiastic today on this NHL
Best
blog.
believe.
They just wanted to talk about their boyfriend on camera.
Look, Luke, if you're watching,
Chase, I'll swing it over to you.
Well, of course, I have to go with the Devils versus the Lightning, which was a game of zero defense on either side. Devils got 5 goals and still lost to the Lightning with 8. The Lightning had a face-off percentage of a little over 49%, while the Devils had a little over 50. With the Lightning, they had 100% power play, while the Devils had 66.7. Lightning had 37 shots on goal. Devils had 35, and with the save percentage, Lightning had 857, and the Devils had 784. Just genuinely zero defense on either side. 13 goals in one game. It's astounding, and we somehow still lost. So I mean, I'm a little upset by that, but I'll live. We're on top of the Metropolitan right now, so I'm kicking my feet.
what was Markstrom doing?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Cole, what was the most exciting game for you?
I had the Canucks-Blackhawks game. You have JT Miller, Connor Bedard, Quinn Hughes. I mean, the face-off percentage was a Blackhawk advantage there. But the power play, the Canucks were dominating on the power play all day. Shots on goal, 30 to 34, 64 total shots on goal. That's a pretty good game if you ask me. Saves-wise, Blackhawks couldn't really get it done. Canucks ended up with 9-12. But for me, what was so important in this game is Quinn Hughes, JT Miller, and Kiefer Sherwood all finished with 2 assists. That's something you just don't see out of 3 guys in one game.
Oh, yep. And just like everyone else on Sports Desk, we love to make way too early predictions. And we're gonna take a shot at predicting who will win the Stanley Cup this year. And Cole, I'll start off with you.
I'm a Rangers fan, Coop, so
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with the Rangers. The Rangers went to
brother.
The Rangers were 1 game away from the Stanley Cup final last year. They've started off hot again. To start this year. I expect some trade acquisitions at the deadline, though. They did it last year with Jack Roslovic and Alex Wenberg. But the Rangers are really controlling their own destiny right now. Florida has lost a lot of people on that. Florida lost a lot of people this year, man. They were the powerhouse. No Brandon Montour, no problem. I think the Rangers are going to be able to run the table this year.
Yeah, not a bad pick. Chase?
Well, of course, I'm going to go with my favorite team, because if we're all going to be wrong anyway, I might as well be wrong with the Devils.
Whoa, all gonna be wrong. Come on.
We're always going to be wrong.
Some of us are based in fact.
No, okay, no. Because you see, New Jersey Devils, we're on top of the Metropolitan right now. Granted, have we played more games than literally everybody else? We don't need to talk about that.
I'm sorry, and what are your Stanley Cup odds?
I don't care. My odds are my hope in my heart and the faith that I have in my New Jersey Devils. So are we probably going to win? No. Am I going to say it every single time on this Sports Desk? You bet.
All right. You do you.
They play a couple games in Prague, and Chase things are going.
Yeah.
We're going to take the cup home, and I'm going to drink out of it.
Okay. And Andrew.
I'm going to agree with Cole, and I'm going to bring up some facts here. President's Trophy winners last year. The bread man, Artemi Panarin's doing his thing. He's got 15 points, and I think it's going to be a big factor this year. A healthy Filipino. Just 10 games last year, missed a lot of time with concussions, but he's got 7 points so far with 4 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah,
No, all right. Rangers are not going to win. You say this every year. It's like you're always going for the lottery here.
This is a man
Every
of
year.
reason.
We're
Hey,
gonna
look,
win.
you can yell at Cole, but I won't let you yell at Andrew.
No, because every single year, I'm yelling at both of them at this point. Every single year, it's like, hey guys, we're going to win the Stanley Cup. Look at what we're doing. Look at me. You're never winning. You haven't won in so freaking long. You haven't won since the Monica Lewinsky scandal. You ain't winning again.
And when's the last time the Devils won?
Year started with a 2, which is way more than the Rangers can say. So that's all I'm saying here. Every year the Rangers are like, we're gonna win, guys. Listen, I say the Devils are gonna win. I know we ain't winning.
You say
I
that
know
every
someone's
week,
smart.
Chase.
Yes, I say it as a joke. If you actually ask me off camera, I'm gonna be like, maybe. But the Rangers every year, we're gonna win, guys.
All right,
We're gonna
let's
win.
get to my pick. I have
Okay.
stats to bring
Yeah,
up.
sure, why not?
Guys, Baylee finishes off here.
It's going to be the Dallas Stars. We are right behind the Oilers in odds to go all the way to the Stanley Cup. They lost in the conference finals last year, and I think this year they can finally make that push. And just to let you know, Rangers are 3rd in Stanley Cup odds. Devils are 7th.
Yeah, yeah.
Odds can be wrong. Odds
Fantastic
can always be
point.
wrong.
That's a fantastic point.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Cole.
but you find always a way to choke in the playoffs.
That's gonna wrap it up for this NFL the NFL.
It's not over
hockey
yet.
segment. But don't forget to follow us at SportsWP for updates and more. Join us next week as we preview the start of both men's and women's basketball seasons. We are going to keep it with the WP volleyball team as they get closer to the NJAC tournament, and we are going to talk football with the NFL crew. We'd like to give a special thank you to all the cast and crew, and a big shout out to our wonderful studio manager, Al Clarke. From Studio B in Hamilton Hall and from everyone here at the desk, I'm Tyler Cooper saying so long. See you next Friday on WPTV.